Vero will probably be joining us here anytime. But so far, let's say hello to Dakota and Lucas and Jaden. Thanks for bearing with me with kind of a different schedule. We made sure to cover extra math last Thursday so that we could do a book club BC here instead, since we missed a Monday because of the holidays in January and February. All right. So I just wanted to point out to you that you have been working on a lot of different strategies all year long. And I hope that you've made the connection that all of the jobs that you do for book club are reading strategies. So I'm not just coming up with jobs that I think I want to see. They actually really are proven reading strategies. So that's why I have you do them. So we talked a little last week about making inferences. That's putting the pieces together and taking the clues that the author gives you and drawing conclusions. Making predictions about what's coming next. Summarizing is, taking the main points. I'll add this to it right now. Taking the main points and kind of recapping those. Drawing connections, there's three different types of connections that you can make. Text to text, text to self, and text to world. So that is relating the book to things in your life, another book, or the world. Okay, so that's making connections. And then illustrating. A lot of times you don't think of that as a reading strategy, but really it is. I mean, seriously, because a lot of times people will come up with a picture that highlights a really important part of the book. And that's actually kind of a form of summarizing. And then discussion director, you can think of that as questioning, as the reading strategy of questioning. Asking yourself questions along the way is another way to deepen your understanding. Okay, so just pointing those out for you that you are doing proven reading strategies here. And our goals are to communicate with each other, to collaborate, to think critically, and to use some creativity. So we will scroll down to your book and we'll get started. Okay, so dear Mr. Henshaw, let's go ahead and just go to our book club site so that we can take a look at our jobs kind of easily there. So I'll take you to the site. Okay, here we are. And we have Dear Mr. Henshaw. And today, it looks like Vero, here we are. Vero was our summarizer. And that's kind of where I like to start. We had Vero and Lucas as summarizers. So, Lucas, you're here with us now. Do you have a
hmm
summary you'd like to share with us?
Yes, I have a summary. It's not inside part of the book. I just made a whole summary of the section.
Okay, of the section that you read today. That's fantastic. So, let me scroll down a little bit and get to your book, and I will start typing everything that you say. Go ahead, Lucas.
Okay, just dear, dear Mr. Henshaw summary, Unit 3. Lee Botts is a boy whose parents are divorced. Lee Botts misses his dad, and people also steal food from his lunch bag. Lee Botts sends letters to Mr. Henshaw in his notebook.
Mhm.
Lee Botts has many problems that he writes in his diary.
Okay, there's many problems.
Can I ask the class something real quick?
Of course.
Have you guys gotten to the second part of it of him writing in his diary yet?
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure. Well, which part are you talking about? Because right now we were assigned to stop at January 31st. So basically, has anybody read past January 31st? Maybe not.
I know I have.
Okay, so Dakota, what's your question then for everybody?
I was just wondering if they got to his second part of his diary.
Oh, okay. Was there something in that second part that you liked or that you wanted to point out to us?
I really don't want to spoil it for the class yet. That's
Oh,
why I was
okay.
asking.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Well, maybe by next week then everybody will be to that part so that we'll make sure not to spoil it. Okay. Very cool. All right. So I'm going to pull this up a little bit. Um yeah, so that's a pretty good summary of what you've read so far. I have a couple more questions to ask you that will kind of help summarize the section that you read a little bit more. Um,
Okay.
so here we go. So here are my questions, and these are for everybody. Why doesn't Lee complain to the teacher about somebody stealing his lunch? You guys remember? Like he just kind of kept it to himself. He didn't go, tell the teacher or anything. Why did he decide to do that?
Because he thought it was the right thing to do.
Okay. Oops. Why did he think so?
He didn't want to throw in the teacher, let him in.
Okay, so he didn't want to bother the teacher or
He probably
Yeah,
just
he didn't want to
didn't,
bother the teacher.
okay.
even though that he's been going to the school for a while now, I think he just don't, I think he doesn't want to be almost like a snitch or something.
Yeah, okay. How do you spell snitch? Yeah, okay. He doesn't want to be a snitch. Maybe he doesn't want to stand out, and draw attention to himself. Because sometimes, especially as you get a little bit older, they would maybe tease you for being a tattletale or something like that. Um, so he just kind of doesn't want to draw attention to himself. So in the last class, we had a pretty good discussion about this. Is this a form of bullying? Is he being bullied by people taking his lunch and then him just taking it?
Yes.
I think so too. What are some strategies that maybe he doesn't want people to know that he went to the teacher, but what are some other things that he could do to, kind of stand up for himself? Any ideas? Go ahead, Dakota.
Um, maybe maybe he just wants to keep it to himself so that way he doesn't feel uh all mean. He wants to be respectful, but also he doesn't want to be almost like too into the situation to the point of where he wants to tell the teacher, but also he doesn't want to. So I think he
Okay.
should probably just try to keep it to himself, but also tell the teachers little by little, so that way it's not like the entire thing. Because also, one day the bully could be taking his lunch. He could tell the principal or someone of what's going on, and
Sure.
then the next day, the bully, the teachers would be watching everyone, and he would still have his lunch. So that way, so if he just tells the teacher one long story of it, they would think that he's lying.
Oh, I see. Okay, so maybe kind of what you're saying is he could tell the teacher without the other kid knowing that he actually went and told the teacher. So at least
Right.
they're aware of it.
Just tell the teacher little by little instead of the entire story.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Um, let's see. I saw Jaden's hand too. What's another way to maybe deal with this bullying type of situation?
Um, write someone else's name on his lunch bag.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
He's
definitely.
already he's already tried that, but it didn't work. It only worked for like a week and a half.
Oh,
Hmm.
huh. Okay. So then the bully figured it out and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different strategies that you can use to deal with bullies, and one is humor. So, kind of turning it into a joke and not letting the person know how much it bothers you. Sometimes it kind of takes the fun out of it when they don't think it bothers you anymore. Um, so laughing at yourself sometimes. Um, actually, a lot of times confronting the person nicely, of course. You don't want to play their game and be mean or anything, but just confronting them nicely sometimes takes the fun out of it. Like, hey, I know you're taking my lunch. It's not cool. Get over it. That kind of thing. Um, yeah, and I'm seeing a lot of things coming up in the chat that you guys have experienced this kind of behavior in one way or another. And it's, there are different strategies to deal with it. And of course, going to an adult is definitely one that you should not be afraid to do. So you can confront the person nicely yourself. You can tell an adult, whether you try to tell the adult in private or whatever the case is. Okay. All right, so we'll move on. That question definitely was a summarizing type of question, but it did deal with a deeper issue as well, so that was good. What did Lee's dad send him in the package? You guys remember? Lucas.
He sent a jacket.
Okay, so he sent a jacket, and how did Lee feel about the jacket?
He felt happy that his dad uh, uh, got he got his present from his dad on time for
Yeah.
Christmas.
And got it on time. Okay, very good. Okay, so that was just another summarizing little question. Um, how does Lee spend his winter break? Like, what are some things that he does during winter break? Go ahead, Jaden.
Um, he does a little bit of his diary. He does his diary. He
Goes snowboarding,
Okay,
I
very
think, or
good.
sledding.
And sledding, that's right.
boring.
Lucas, what else?
He uh, he does like errands to haircut or get his teeth done and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, so he does all that stuff, like makes all those appointments that you have to deal with when you have time off school.
Hmm.
How is that similar or different to what you guys do during winter break? Or really any break? Lucas?
I usually kind of relax and and uh, do whatever holidays around. Like
Okay. So
the
he
same.
relaxes and enjoys the holidays. So you do all like the holiday festivity type of stuff. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I can consider sledding part of like, a holiday type of tradition. Um, and some people choose to write in their diary, some people choose to go sledding. Dakota, how do you spend the holidays? Or I should say breaks.
Sometimes I spend playing games with my family, and even though that this might sound sort of a girlish type of thing to do, I sometimes crochet.
Hey, that's all right. That'd be kind of cool. Maybe you can crochet me a hat or crochet the babies a hat. That'd be awesome.
I don't
It's
I only know
crochet.
how to do the chains.
Oh, okay.
Um Crochet is it's almost like thread that you can make almost anything out of.
Yeah,
Like
think of
even
Cat's
like,
cradle.
Like hand knitted sweaters and that kind of thing. Like,
You can make hand mitts, you can make socks, you could sort of make hats with the little strings. You could pretty much almost make anything with crocheting.
it's very cool. Awesome. All right. And just another little, question to kind of get at our summary a little bit deeper. Um, why is Lee sometimes left alone at night? Jaden. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were raising your hand, Jaden. I guess you weren't. Dakota?
Because his mom sometimes has to work parties and get money, and it sucks for him being alone during the night because his mom ain't there and he has no one to talk or play with.
Yeah, so he feels pretty lonely. Very good. And welcome, Vero. I see that you just joined us. I'm so happy because we are finishing up one summary, and you were also a summarizer, so we're going to let you share as well. And I'll come back to question 5. That's more of a discussion question. So, Vero, are you there with us?
Yes.
All right. Do you have a summary? Oh, go ahead, Dakota. You have another thought.
For uh on one of I think it was the last question.
Uh huh.
I know what it's. Can I read the question real quick?
Oh, sure. I was going to come back to that for
All
a
right.
discussion director job because Will is still pretty sick. And so I definitely will come back to that question and I'll use it as a discussion director. Okay.
All right.
Okay, cool. Vero, why don't you share your summary with us and I'll just kind of add to what I've already typed up here.
Okay.
All right. Go
Okay.
for it whenever you're ready.
And dear Mr. Henshaw, I have read December 22nd through January 1st. Lee was on winter vacation for Christmas. His dad mailed him a quilted down coat, a CD player. He's back to school. Everyone steals all of the good things from his lunchbox. Lee hates it. Mr. Friday wants him to put a burglar alarm on his lunchbox.
Okay. Okay, and what's his name again? Mr. Friendly?
Friendly.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Wants him to put a lock on his lunchbox. Okay, anything else?
No.
Okay, cool. So, you know what? This is actually one of those teachable moments that we're going to stop for a second and take a look at what we've written so far and try to make this a little bit better of a paragraph. Okay, so this is our summary, and let's just read it like we have it so far. Lee Botts' parents divorced. He misses his dad. He has many problems, and he writes in his diary. He has his food stolen at times. Lee was on winter break, and his dad mailed him a quilted down coat. Lee hates it when people treat him this way, and Mr. Friendly wants him to put a lock on his lunchbox. Okay, so I think, a couple sentences are out of order a little bit. So I see one that I'm going to move. You could probably agree with me that if we're talking about the lunchbox, then we should have all of that together. We need probably a better introduction sentence. Vero, can you read your introduction sentence again? That's your very first one that you had, your very first sentence? Vero. Vero, are you there?
Yes. And dear
Okay.
Mr. Henshaw, I have read December 22nd through January 1st.
Okay. So I'm going to change that a little bit. A lot of important events occurred between December 22nd and wasn't it January 31st that you were supposed to read through?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so this is a great introduction sentence. A lot of important event. Well, it's not really great, but it at least gives us an intro sentence. Important events occurred between these dates. Here are some of the important events. I'm going to kind of combine these sentences and make them sound better. Lee Botts' parents divorced and he misses his dad. He has many problems, so he deals with it by writing in his diary. So I'm making this better. And this is all of your thoughts, though, so this is great. He has his food stolen at times by a bully at school. Lee hates it when people treat him this way, and Mr. Friendly wants him to put a lock on his lunchbox. Lee was on winter break, and his dad mailed him a quilted down coat. I'm going to take that out. Okay. All right, guys. Together we made a pretty good summary there. I'm proud of you. All right, let's move on to Jaden, a quotable quoter. So, Jaden, I don't think you shared this with me ahead of time. I'm just going to make sure. No, you didn't. Would you like me to make you the presenter, or how would you like to present your work? Do you want to just read the parts that you found, Jaden?
I wrote it down.
Okay, so he wrote it down.
Yep.
How many people have the book in front of them so that they can turn to the pages that Jaden's going to tell you to turn to? Awesome. So this is great. Always remember, if you can, to come with your book so that when the quotable quoter tells you what page to go to, you can go to that page. So Jaden found two parts that he's going to share with us, and
Yeah,
Jaden,
and they're funny.
and they're both funny parts. Okay, so he found funny parts. All right, Jaden, go ahead.
Songs of Lonely Shoes, page 42. I
Page
saw a
42.
shoe wet with dew on Highway 2. It made me blue. What'll I do? Page 42.
Okay, can you read maybe the sentence or the paragraph that you found to be funny?
I just read it.
Oh, read it again. I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
I saw a shoe wet with dew on Highway 2. It made me blue. What'll I do?
Oh, okay. Why did you think that was funny, Jaden?
Because I just thought it was a good part for funniness. Because it was about lonely shoes, and I was like,
Yeah, well, because that's actually a teachable moment here too. That is personification. When you give an item that is not alive, like shoes, a human-like quality. So shoes aren't really lonely. That's a human quality. So that's called personification. Go ahead, Dakota.
Can I read one of the ones that I thought was funny?
Oh, sure. Yeah, and then we'll go back to Jaden's second one. So yeah, go ahead.
It is a lonesome hiker was unlucky to lose his boot near a truckie. He hitched a ride with one foot down the road to Angel's Camp.
Why did you find that part funny?
Because it rhymes, and I think there is a camp named Angel's Camp.
Yeah.
So I made I made a sort of a connection, and with one foot damp, that has happened to me before.
Well, there you go. All right, Jaden, let's share
Yeah,
your second example that you found.
Dakota just said it.
Jaden? Oh, he just said it?
Yeah, Dakota copied me.
Well, I don't think he copied you, but I think that that's great that he found the same part to be funny. That's really cool because then that means you guys are kind of thinking alike. That doesn't always happen, but that's great. And I
I'm
saw your work. I
sorry.
know. No, you don't be sorry. I think that's great that you guys both thought that pretty much that entire page was funny. All right. Good work, guys. You guys are getting this. Okay, so now We have, Michael's not here today. I have one more discussion question I'm going to share in a minute. We have Dakota as our illustrator. Would you like to show us your illustration?
I really haven't gotten it done yet because yesterday we had to take Dad to the hospital.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, Dakota, think of a part that if you were going to draw a picture, what would you draw from the story?
Oh, I found one.
Okay.
Um, if I drew a picture of almost like uh what is it?
Text
Uh
to self or text to
text to
text?
text to world.
Okay, text to world, sure.
Um, even though that Lee's mother and father are divorced, he wants to see his dad, and I'm not living with my original father, but my original father is also a truck driver, and I would like to meet him.
Okay, so you are definitely making some good connections. So to if you were the illustrator, do you think you would draw a picture of the truck then? That's probably what you would choose. Okay, that's great.
Because
Oh,
I don't know if he's driving a flat nosed or a monkey nose.
yeah, so you're not sure, but maybe you would just, you would guess. All right, that's a great connection. Our connector is actually not here today, so has anybody else, while you were reading, made a connection? Any other connections that you'd like to share? Maybe a text to self that means you can relate to something in the story personally, or maybe it reminds you of a different book. That's text to text. Anyone? Dakota shared a really important one with us, so we will kind of just leave it at that. And then hopefully you can maybe think of one more before we are done today. Let's go back to our schedule. And we had a summary from Lucas and Vero. We had Jaden as our quotable quoter, and Dakota. He kind of talked us through his illustration, but Dakota's done a really good job of also sharing a lot of personal connections with us as well. So we are to that point now where we will go down to my very last question and discuss it a little bit more as a discussion director question. So this is for everyone. So, what problems might result from being a trucker? Lucas?
Losing your hearing from all the wind and rocks and all and too loud music.
Okay, you can lose your hearing from, I'll just say the elements and loud music. Sure. Are there any other problems about being a trucker? Go ahead, Dakota.
Uh, let's see. Your foot can get run over. Uh, when you pull the little pin to unhook the when you pull the
The rig.
uh no, not the rig. There's a little uh
Hook.
Okay.
there's a clamp that keeps the trailer.
Oh,
You have to pull this right here to make your clamp right here
yeah.
open up.
Oh, so you can possibly let it go and catch your foot or even your leg. So it can be kind of dangerous. Um,
That plus you could also lose your hand if you're not careful.
okay. And Vero, what do you think?
Um, you have to sit in the car all day, and sometimes you might get car sick.
Hmm. And maybe get car sick. Um, So you guys have thought of a lot of physical problems that might result from being a trucker. What about like emotional problems that might result?
You never get to see your family
Yeah.
because you're always on the road almost 24/7.
Okay, so you don't get to see your family much, and that might be hard on you. Very good. It might, well, hard on you and your family, I should say.
Well, it's not really my family, it's my friend's family who
Uh-huh.
lives up the street. His dad's dad is a truck driver for Walmart, and he don't and he comes home almost every 6 days to 4 days.
Oh, well, that's good, but there are some stretches in between where he's just like completely gone, and I'm sure,
Cross cross country, almost like
yeah,
Lee's father.
yeah, that's kind of hard. Can be kind of lonely, I would say, for everybody.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so that's really great. You guys are making some really good connections as well. So here is the point. Since we had a lot of people who were absent today, we got done kind of early, but I do need to let you know what you're going to be doing for next week. So let's take a look at our schedule, which is Monday. Next week is normal. We will have normal times, normal days. Monday, book club. Thursday, math. And Monday is the 11th. Okay. And Vero, you will be our illustrator. Dakota, you will be our new discussion director. Will, I'm sure he won't be sick anymore by then. He'll be our word wizard.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Michael can be our quotable quoter. Jaden, you will be our connector. Tyler will be our summarizer. And Lucas, you will also be an illustrator. So that'll be kind of a
Cool.
fun, yeah, kind of a fun day for you. You need to know which chapters, or I shouldn't say chapters, it's dates. So get a pencil out so that you can write down what you're reading. You are reading February 2nd through 6th. Okay? February 2nd through 6th. And that's
February
only
2nd, February 6th.
yep. In your book, you'll turn to page like right after January 31st. The next section is February 2nd through February 6th. Okay? All right, guys. Give me a big wave goodbye and pat yourselves on the back because you all did great today. Yay! All right, guys. It's been fun. Have a great weekend.
Hey,
Bye.
one sec. I need to write down the February.
Okay. If you have the dates written down, then you are free to go.
It's February 2nd and February 6th.
Yep, through February 6th.
I have a question.
Okay.
Is it past this part right here?
Yep, because that's only January something. I can't quite see that, but
January
February.
20.
Oh yeah, that's right. Cause I'm on page. What page? Did I lose it?
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Cause I'm on page 75.
Oh, okay. Great. I don't do page numbers because sometimes books are a little bit different, so I just give you the dates because that's kind of how they title the chapters, basically. So once you read all the way through February 6th, Dakota, and do your job for next week, which is discussion director, it's an important job, then you'll be done, okay?
All right.
All right, I'll see you later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.